We'd like to welcome you out to the March 1st Commission meeting. We ask that you would join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on tonight's agenda is the approval of minutes.
I saw no corrections.
I have none either. I'll make the motion. We accept the minutes from February 15th.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 2 is Employee of the Month, Kellie Payne. The Employee of the Month is actually not available, so we're going to have to table this and put it on the next agenda. Jeannie, if you would make note of that. Item number 3 is open sealed bids for the weed department.
We didn't receive any.
So we'll acknowledge that no bids were received. Commissioner Jensen, would you like to pursue that with?
Yeah, I think I would recommend we make phone calls when we need chemicals and get pricing that way and take the low price and purchase based on that.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 4 is the ratification of the media co-op agreement between Love Communications and the Carbon County using the traditional co-op grant. Let Tina address that.
Yeah, we were fighting for who's going to come up. Just kidding.
There's 2, so we'll let you switch.
Yeah. So we actually had 2 agreements be sent over for the co-op marketing grant and the Forever Mighty grant. The reason why we're asking for ratification is because one of the deadlines actually happened last week, and so we need to get the paperwork over. And because I had them both, I presented them to Casey. And this is for the KSL native articles and banner ads that will promote, what are they promoting? Sorry, I gotta think. The SPX Geo Tour, the Roundabout, Schofield Jeep Tour, and possibly the county fair. We haven't decided that final one in August, what we're using it for. So,
One thing you mentioned was the roundabout, and just since there's kind of another topic concerning a roundabout, can you explain what the roundabout is?
refer to etv10news.com. Just kidding. Our press release just released today. And so the roundabout was a regional project where Carbon County Tourism and Emory County Tourism partnered together to start to work on certain projects, maybe attend shows together. We did the Outdoor Recreation Summit together. We shared booth space. But we wanted to see the opportunity that we had to put money into both counties. And so we started that project. We applied for a grant with the Forever Mighty grant, and we partnered with Emory County on that and received the grant. That's a 2-to-1 grant that actually closes at the end of September. And so we've gone through that entire process, and we've actually just launched it. We received the brochures, and we did the press release that came out today. So it's just an awesome project. It really is Utah's hidden loop. So it takes people in Carbon County, around Emory County, all the way around in a circle. And it encourages people to visit those small rural communities and to interact with the locals, shop at those local souvenir shops, eat in the dining places. And we also show different places to lodge in Carbon. So we're kind of just sharing a piece of the pie and pushing money in both directions. So
Great, thank you.
It's all centered around different types of activities as well. So if you're a golfer, you're going to golf in Price, you're going to golf in Farron, and you're going to golf in Green River. You have multiple days of golfing that could be planned out. If you're an archaeologist, here are the sites, and here's how you could spend your time, and while you're there, go to these restaurants, go to these hotels, stay here, stay there. So it's centered around activities we have in our community, but it's to drive traffic to our local eateries and hotels.
Okay, if there's any other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we ratify the media co-op agreement between Love Communications and Carbon County using the traditional co-op grant.
I'll second that.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Item number 5 is the ratification of the media co-op agreement between Love Communications and Carbon County using the Forever Mighty co-op grant. Are you not hearing us? Do we need to speak louder or sign language? I don't know sign language. Okay,
I can hear you.
sorry about that.
That's okay. This is just the second part to that. So the first one was the traditional co-op, which is a 1-to-1 matching. And this one is the Forever Mighty. And this one is specifically for SPX and Roundabout because we wrote those grants based on the Forever Mighty principles. And yeah, that's the 2-to-1 grant.
And again, the roundabout you're talking about has nothing to do with highways.
No,
Okay.
no, we had so much fun trying to name that thing. And the roundabout just fit. And so, yeah.
That's good. Okay, great. Any questions,
No
comments?
questions. I'll make a motion that we ratify the media co-op agreement with Love Communications and Carbon County using the Forever Mighty co-op grant.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks
Motion
again.
passes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Item number 6 is review and possible approval of the second cycle of the Rural County Grant Funding. I'll have Shani address that for us.
Yes, thank you. So as I mentioned last time, the CED, Community Economic Development Board, decided to, instead of do all the funding at once or give all the funding at once, they allowed different businesses to apply through 3 different cycles. And so the first cycle I reported last time, we had 15 applicants. The second cycle, we had 4. And now we're right in the process of our 3rd cycle. So of those 4 businesses that applied for funding for the Rural County Grant, there were 3 that were awarded funding. And of those 3, Reuben's Barbecue was one of them. They were awarded $8,000. West Coast Show Support in Helper, they're the ones that work at the Rio Theater. They were awarded $5,000. And then Crafty Designs by Jody, they were awarded $3,000, and they will be moving on Main Street. They'll have a craft store on Main Street, so she's super excited. And then we had some additional funding left over, so we went back through the first round of applicants, and we awarded, 8 more, and a couple that weren't even awarded the first cycle. So of those, do you want me to quickly go through those real quick? Okay. Flawless Sheeting, we gave them an additional $4,000. And they were awarded $6,000 in the first round. Helper Brewing, they were awarded 10, and they got 15 in the first round, so they're up to 25. Swell Pet Supply, they were not funded the first cycle, and we gave them $3,000. Tram Electric got an additional 10, and the first cycle they got 15. Intermark still got an additional 10. And they were awarded $5,000 in the first round. Smoke and J Diesel, they were not awarded in the first round, and they got $5,000, so they were super excited. Merit 3D got an additional $3,000 on top of their 4, so they're up to 7. And then EXT USA, this is a new bike shop that will be in Helper. They were awarded an additional $5,000 on top of their 7. So those were the ones that were awarded second cycle. So each cycle we have $66,000 put aside. So we have one more cycle that I'll come and report to you in a month. So,
Sounds great.
and they've all received phone calls from myself and emails, and we've received a lot of response back. They're all extremely grateful and happy that they applied and they were allowed some funding. So.
If you could just quickly kind of explain where that grant money comes from.
You bet. Comes from the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. So we apply every year for the $200,000, and the good news is we've received a lot more applicants than we have in the past, and the ask has been a lot bigger. So good news, a lot of them are receiving a little bit of funding, but not as much as they had asked for. So that's the bad news, but we're excited we're able to help them a little bit.
Great.
Now, these dollars are for expansion of existing businesses in the county, or in some cases, new businesses that are starting up.
And employment and
And it's based off of the value over time that comes back to the county in tax dollars in their expansion, and also the number of employees that they hire. So I think I mentioned before, the first 2 years of this program is behind us, and those businesses hired 85 people. Some cases it was a startup.
go to Carbon Utah, to our website, carbonutah.com, and they go under departments, click on economic development. There's a link to the Rural County grant right there. They can apply right online, or they can print off a PDF and submit it that way. So there's 2 different ways they can submit.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
And I might mention also that there's been a lot of effort go into notifying the businesses through the chamber, and just one-on-one visits with Shani and even Rita prior to Shani coming. So the businesses are becoming more aware of it, and it's a good program.
Yeah.
All right, if there's no other comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we take the recommendation of the Community Economic Development Board and award these funds that Shani has expressed tonight to these businesses.
I'll second that.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
You know,
Thank
one
you.
other thing before you sit down, explain what the business has to do to get this money. They've got to
So
spend some money before they ever get this.
Yeah, so it is a 50-50 match. They do have to complete the project first, and then they submit the receipts to the county, and then we reimburse them 50%. So, and they explain that in the application process, the details, and so that's
Yeah.
how they receive the funding.
Many of these, the expansion or work they're doing is much more than the grant request. So this is just a little bit to help move the project along, but they have to actually do the improvements and spend the money before the grant money can be given to them.
Yes, correct. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7 is consideration and possible approval of an amendment to the Children's Justice Center to reflect additional funds in the amount of $26,309.44.
Thank
Shelley,
you.
how are you?
Thank you. So $6,309.44 was funding that was underspent for the last fiscal year. So they were able to roll over and I get it back, which is awesome. So I try to be frugal in my spending. And then the $20,000 that was added on to that will go to support the $14,000 towards the forensic interviewer, and then any additional supplies or travel for the forensic interviewer and for my newly hired therapist. So, and then I can also apply it to some training that we have coming up too. So that was great. We're excited to have that.
It's always nice when you get more money than what you
Yes.
were asking for. So
Yes.
basically, this is an adjustment and it extends the the contract doesn't extend, but this goes out till 2027, I believe.
So
Yeah.
this current funding will go out until June 30th, 2023.
Okay.
But the legislature just approved a lot of funding through the Victim Services project that the legislation was running, and the Children's Justice Centers across the state received about $3.2 million in addition, and this will be ongoing funds. So our center will be receiving additional ongoing funds, which I'll be back to do probably another amendment.
See you in June then.
Yeah, see me in June. Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay, that's great.
very exciting.
Good
Yes.
to hear.
Thank you.
So I just need just the signatures on.
Signature.
I'll make a motion to amend the Children's Justice Center contract to reflect the additional amounts.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Great, I'll bring it up.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley.
Appreciate what you do.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.